So, Serral, guys. A guy known as Serral has absolutely taken over the landscape of StarCraft 2 as far as from a competitive standpoint. This is a guy who has won, countless amounts of championships at this point. And when I say championships, I really just mean tournaments in general. Now, the big one, of course, the Super Bowl of StarCraft is BlizzCon, and he has won one of those. And then, of course, Home Story Cup just concluded not too long ago, and he ended up winning that tournament against Raynor, which was a really great tournament, guys. It's some of the best StarCraft that you'll see all year. I mean, you know, it's sometimes even better than some of the bigger tournaments throughout the course of the year. But I will say this. Serral is on the pursuit right now of reclaiming the throne. And when I say that, guys, what I mean by it is, simply put, Serral, who is an absolute force to be reckoned with in StarCraft, as far as from the pro at the highest level of StarCraft 2, he of course came up short in BlizzCon 2019, and I think that is a obvious thing. He came up short, lost to Raynor, who seems to be maybe Serral's Achilles heel when it comes to tournaments. Serral may be able to get through pretty much anybody except for Raynor. I mean, obviously we don't have a lot of proof there as far as, you know, that being true, right? But what I will say is this. Serral is on the pursuit right now to reclaim the throne that has been taken from him, and of course has been claimed by none other than Dark. Now, guys, I've made, you know, a number of videos talking about the greatest StarCraft 2 players of all time. I gave everyone my personal opinion. You guys can check that out on the YouTube channel. But that being said, guys, I have always said that Life was the greatest. Serral comes along, and this is a guy who, of course, has really taken the StarCraft 2 pro scene by storm. And obviously, I feel, and I said this before BlizzCon 2019. I said that if Serral wins BlizzCon 2019, he will be alone as far as the greatest of all time, because really no one has won 2 BlizzCons up to this point in StarCraft 2. There is a guy, though, that we were forgetting about. A guy who really wanted to remind everyone just how good he still is, and that is Dark. Dark came along, guys. I mean, this is a guy who's been in the StarCraft 2 pro scene for a long time. And what he ended up doing was he has made it to 2 BlizzCon finals at this point now. He won one and he lost one. I believe the first one he lost to Beyond. I think it was Beyond. Maybe I'm wrong, but I almost remember I thought it was Beyond. And then, of course, more recently, of course, 2019 BlizzCon, he steamrolls everyone, and has taken the throne away from Serral. Now, Serral, as we just mentioned, won Home Story Cup against Raynor. Now, Dark did not attend Home Story Cup. But I believe that this might be a revenge tour for Serral, because Serral, of course, that Achilles heel that we were just mentioning being Raynor, he loses at BlizzCon 2019, and then he wins against Raynor in the final at Home Story Cup. Which, of course, guys, I want to say this really quick. Take TV, of course, the ones who put on Home Story Cup, did an absolutely incredible job. I want to give a big congratulations to them on a huge job well done when it came to Home Story Cup. Hope they continue doing that in the future. Absolutely one of the best tournaments of the year. And it just seems like, you know, the StarCraft community, what's so great about the StarCraft community is the StarCraft community puts their money where their mouth is. And, you know, they really show support for their favorite streamers, their favorite, you know, content creators, as well as their favorite, you know, organizers of these amazing tournaments. And, you know, Home Story Cup is no different there. But that being put aside, Serral wins Home Story Cup against Raynor, and is now in 2020 going to be on what I believe is going to be that revenge tour. But this is where it's going to get interesting. There's going to be a guy who's going to have something to say about that. His name is Dark. And once again, guys, I'm going to say right now that Dark is going to be on a prove it year once again. Prove that you're still the best in the world. Because he did it at BlizzCon, and there was no debate about it. Some people are saying that if Serral went to the grand final against Dark, he would have beaten Dark. I disagree. I think that even though Serral's Achilles heel, as far as what we were saying with Raynor, even though I think that that's been actually proven false because he just beat Raynor at Home Story Cup, we're going to need more history, I guess you could say, between those two to really say, is this Serral's Achilles heel? Is this Raynor's Achilles heel? That being said, though, I don't believe Serral would have beaten Dark. Dark was on a mission and was not just beating opponents. He was steamrolling opponents. And he had so much momentum going. Now, we could always say, we could go back to, BlizzCon 2019 was done in 1 day instead of 3 days or 2 days or whatever. And so these guys, had to play so many games in 1 day. And so it's basically whoever has the hot hand or the hot hands, kind of like a goalie in hockey. When a goalie in hockey gets hot, sometimes it's very, very hard to beat them, especially like in the playoffs. It's all about the goalie and which goalie gets hot in the playoffs. So it's kind of similar to that. It's, who's got the hot hand that day, because it was all in 1 day. And it seemed that Dark certainly had the StarCraft gods with him throughout the course of that tournament. But that being said, Dark right now, hearing all that noise, that he might not be that guy no more. He's probably not going to make it to another BlizzCon final. He's not, he might not win a lot of tournaments anymore because he's starting to get, he's been in the StarCraft scene for a long time, the StarCraft 2 scene in particular. And all eyes are on Serral. Everyone's talking about Serral. Everyone's talking about the new guy, the young gun, as in Raynor. But I do think that Dark is on a mission. He proved to everyone that he still got it. And I think now, in 2020, it's going to be his prove-it year. It's going to be Serral's year where he tries to reclaim the throne. And I wouldn't be surprised if BlizzCon 2020 came down to Serral and Dark. And wow, would that be an intense matchup. It would be the battle for GOAT status. It would be the narrative that I think a lot of people would want to see. I know people want to see Serral and Raynor. I want to see Serral and Dark. Because whoever gets to 2 championships, as in the form of BlizzCon, 2 of the biggest event, because that is the Super Bowl. And what it comes down to is that it's going to come down to BlizzCon wins. It's going to come down to you are proving at the biggest stage, on the most, complicated, complex, and, all the pressure in the world on you at BlizzCon 2020, who's going to get there first? Because right now, in my eyes, we've got a 3-way tie. You've got Life, who I believe his legacy has been tarnished because of the match-fixing scandal, but nonetheless, that doesn't take away from him being an absolutely incredible player. You have Serral, who was this guy who came out of nowhere and starts to significantly take the StarCraft 2 pro scene by storm. And then we've got this guy lingering around, who's been around, winning championship, here or there, making it to a BlizzCon final, not winning, but then this past year, he did that. And that is Dark. You have 3 guys who are on that, 2 of them technically, because Life isn't allowed to play anymore. You have 2 guys on the pursuit to become the greatest of all time in StarCraft 2. Who's going to get there, guys? I'll tell you what. I believe Serral's absolutely incredible. I mean, I believe that this guy could very well become the greatest ever. But lo and behold, we have forgotten almost about Dark. He's been a guy he's been there. He's kind of like classic, or he's like, some of these other guys who have been kind of in the scene for a little while now, but you don't really think of them as like, oh yeah, they're going to be like the greatest ever. Dark has won championships. He's won these GSL, the GSL Code S. He's won, a number of tournaments. And on top of that now, all he needed to really add to his resume was that BlizzCon, and he did that. Now, we can debate forever whether, it was all done in one day, it was different, things of that line. But if he does it again, if he did it again, no matter what the formatting is, the players know what that format's going to be before BlizzCon. They know. Okay, it's going to be 2 days. It's going to be 3 days. It's going to be 1 day. They know what it's going to be. It's up to you mentally to prepare for that, regardless of the circumstances. The Super Bowl isn't done in a few days. It's done in 1 day. You need to be mentally prepared for what is coming. Dark was prepared, and he proved to everyone that he is the best right now in the world. Serral's on the pursuit to reclaim the throne. Raynor is going to be right in the mix. Dark said in his interview after winning BlizzCon that he wanted to play Serral. He wanted to prove to everyone that he is the greatest in the world right now. And I believe he would have beat him. I really do. It might have been a little bit longer of a series, but Dark would have won that. Make no mistake about it, he would have won. And obviously that's my opinion, guys. We're not trying to be a prophet here, but I do not believe that Serral would have overcame the absolute force that was Dark at BlizzCon 2019. The narratives are out there. It's building. Can Serral reclaim the throne? And I'm not talking about just, WCS Valencia or IEM Katowice. I'm talking the big one. That moment where you are able to prove to everyone that you are the best in the world. But this isn't just for best in the world. This is for greatest of all time. This is for GOAT status, which Serral has gotten to that point. He's earned it. Dark has now gotten to that point. Life's legacy is cemented, even though I believe it is tarnished because of the match-fixing scandal. We have 2 guys that are still playing today. We have to enjoy these moments, guys. Enjoy them. Take it in. We're watching 2 of the greatest to ever play StarCraft 2. Played at the highest level. Dark has been consistent throughout his career. Sometimes he's come up short at BlizzCon. He didn't come up short this past year. Serral came up short of those expectations. He hit a wall with Raynor. But now the stage is going to be set for 2020. Who do you got? You got Serral, you got Dark. I feel part of me's got Serral because he's kind of, he's younger. He hasn't been in the, the pro scene as long as Dark, but Dark's got that experience. And when that experience comes in, that clutch mentality, that absolute, being there, doing that, even though Serral's done it, he's done it at a young, being kind of, young in the StarCraft scene. The Korean versus the Finland phenom. Dark and Serral is what I think we're going to want to see. I know I want to see it. What do you guys think about it, guys? The race for the StarCraft 2 GOAT. The pursuit of the throne. Dark's on it right now. Is Serral going to get it? Is Dark going to continue that hellacious power that he showed at BlizzCon 2019, or is someone else going to be taking the throne like Raynor? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below.